Okay, so I chose the Middle Ohio South Watershed. This is the watershed that I live in, which covers Parkersburg, West Virginia. Well, most of it. You can see there below the blue arrows where I live on the Ohio River. This watershed includes Athens, Meigs, Gallia, and Washington counties of Ohio, and Mason, Jackson, Putnam, Roane, Wirt, and Wood counties from West Virginia. I live in Wood County, about where the pink line is, near Vienna, West Virginia, and this just can show you a better idea of all the counties and streams included in this watershed. Water use among this watershed is all pretty common stuff: hydroelectric power, thermoelectric, wastewater treatment, livestock, fish hatcheries, municipal supply. And this is just a view of the 303D list from the EPA for this watershed. I included it since you could see all of them and have a good visual of what was listed for this watershed. And this is a breakdown of the impaired waters, and you can see there's a lot of chlorophyll A and phosphorus for the list of impaired waters. So for supplemental table B, waters with TMDLs developed, there's about 11 pages of streams for this watershed. None for waters where existing TMDL resolves in any newly identified impaired waters. Only one for previously listed. None for tables C and D. And only Turkey Run Lake for total aluminum and Elk Fork Lake for new listings. There is around 400,000 acres total in the Middle Ohio River South watershed. The land use is a combined of 300,000 acres of forest, then around 50,000 grassland, 22,000 urban residential, and around 30,000 agriculture. The rest are pretty small compared to those four. They take up most of the watershed. There are 61 permits in the West Virginia counties in this watershed, mostly heavy construction, bridge and tunnel and elevated highway, some government, sewage systems, eating places, airports, mobile home sites. Mostly urban residential type permits that you would find in an area like this. And there's a map of some permits. You can see a lot in the Parkersburg area, Williamstown area, most around the streams and the rivers where civilization and the industrial part of this watershed is, which makes sense. And this is just a view of the permits. You can see what it's like when you pull up on the DEP website, and I just chose a specific permit. This was a stormwater permit. It's right there along the river. Most are stormwater, either industrial or construction type permits. And there's a view of the water quality data. Now this specific section is just from Wood County, around there's around 4,000 results, and there's around 20,000 for the entire watershed. A lot of fecal coliform, iron, suspended solids. And here I narrowed it down to just the Ohio River data. Most of the values for this data are within the range for the drinking water with a normal pH, which the pH here is 7.51. You would expect it to be 7, so it's aligning pretty well with what you would expect. And then the WVSCI conditions, the HBI, they were all 6 and below. The percent chromidate ranges from 0 to 96, so that's a big range. The percent EPT, the majority is in the higher numbers. The percent 2 dominant taxa are in the higher numbers. And the total taxa is in the teens, which means it's fairly impaired. I averaged all the WVSCI ratings, and the average was a 58, which if it's below 68, it's impaired. So it's definitely impaired.
That's why we built the nation's largest gig speed network, along with complete reliability. Then, with beyond clumsy dial-ins and pings, one-touch conference calls. Beyond traditional TV to TV, any device. Beyond low-res surveillance video to crystal clear HD video monitoring from anywhere. Gig-fueled apps that exceed expectations. Comcast Business, beyond fast.
Your insurance rates skyrocket after a scratch so small you could fix it with a pen. How about using that pen to sign up for new insurance instead?
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise their rates because of their first accident.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
13.
I like the competition, and I like how they play by the rules.
Just like the pros would play, but you play against people of their own skill level.
Welcome to the Golf Channel Amateur. It's like nothing else.
This is not the same old deal or no deal. We have the opportunity for the contestant to negotiate.
My childhood hero was Emmitt Smith.
I still have the same amount of hair.
A Night of Deal or No Deal premieres Wednesday at 8 Eastern only on CNBC.
Round one of the Hero World Challenge wrapping up here in 2018. Patrick Cantley first to get to 65. Now Patrick Reed has joined him at 7 under par. You've been traveling all over the world. You were in Hong Kong. Now you're here in the Bahamas. What's it like getting competitive this time of year for you?
You know,
It's a lot of
And that is all the information I have for this watershed at this time.